Good morning, everybody. It is, I can do this off the top of my head. I don't need to look out of habit. It is Tuesday, January 12th, 2021 at 8:54 a.m. And that, because I looked at the oven. But I did know the date. Today is, I'm Justin Bowman, as most of you probably know if you're watching this. And this is my home, the St. Peterschule. And this is my addiction ministry. And anyway, this is a wake up sobriety check-in. What's different about this morning is that my wake up sobriety check-in is actually I've already woken up already, and I went to the hospital to get blood work done, blood drawn for blood work, and that's all done, and that's cool. I have a little, in the hand because from being an intravenous drug addict, I don't like to have my crook of my arms done because there's a lot of scar tissue there and stuff like that. So now I can eat. The cool thing is, last night before I went to bed, I began making a split pea soup in the crock pot, and should be ready by noon. So it has about like 3 more hours. I'm kind of questioning whether or not, I don't know. The last hour, I might take off the lid and turn it up to high, and then because that'll create, I'm told, a more thick soup. So we'll see, because I stirred it about like 2 hours ago, and well, it seemed like, I don't know, it seemed like something was left to be desired in terms of like the doneness. But again, that was several hours before it's supposed to be done. So we'll see what happens. And now I can eat. I'm starving. I've been fasting all night, and I've been fasting for longer than the required amount of time. So, which is like 9 to 12 hours, and it's been a little bit longer than that. I had a great shopping trip last night. I didn't realize that I had EBT funds available, which I do. Hold on, let me turn this light on yeah, there you go. Which I do, and so I went to Smart and Final last night, and you can see on my Facebook page, everything that I got. I got some capers, which I love. Capers were really awesome. I had to get some onions for the soup. I got some fresh veggies, not too much because it's Smart and Final, and Smart and Final is like the worst place to get produce. Some oranges, some new herbal tea, some tofu, some sour cream, some eggs, some red bell pepper, 10-pound bag of popcorn kernels, because I have a popcorn popper, and that's a good fiber-rich, healthy snack, so that's cool. The only thing that's candy or crap that I bought was a bag of Twizzlers, and I'm going to make a plug right now for Red Vines. Red Vines are superior, even though they're the cheaper knockoff, like Twizzler, they're way better than Twizzlers. Twizzlers are like, I don't know, like Red Vines, I can sit there, I can eat Red Vine after Red Vine after Red Vine. Twizzlers, I'm glad I bought a big bag of Twizzlers because, hold on. I'm glad I bought this bag of Twizzlers because I think this is probably going to last a little bit because I'm not compelled to eat a ton of them. You know what I mean? They're not just, it's like Jell-O a little bit. Like Jell-O where you're like, yeah, this is all right, but I'm not going to like gorge on it like it's cake. So, that said, yeah, Red Vine's much better. But I think I looked and the Red Vines were right next to it, but those were on sale, I think. So I went with that. Or it may not have been a sale, but the price was lower, definitely. Which is kind of weird. I don't know how. I don't think they had an equivalent size. I think you had to buy like the big tub of Red Vines, or like a small thing. And this was like the only in between size. And I was gonna buy a tub of Red Vines. Tub of Red Vines reminds me of living with Bob, though. Bob used to buy those. Bob and Mike used to buy Red Vines, man. Crazy. So anyway, some saltine crackers I bought. I didn't buy any meat. because I didn't like the meat that was available. They had one big pack of like 6-pack of like boneless, skinless chicken breasts. The date was like tomorrow, and I was like, I mean, it was literally the last one on the shelf, and the date was tomorrow. I was like, no, it's all right. God, they're hard. I mean, it gets me upset in there. And then I thought about buying a ribeye steak there. I'm like, I'm not buying a ribeye from Smart and Final. Like, no way. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to buy a steak. I'm going to go to Lenardi's or Lucky at least, you know, or maybe Safeway. The Safeway over here is really the shits. I mean, honestly, the one in Millbrae is better, but I mean, I don't go out there to go grocery shopping because that's kind of a schlep. So, what else is going on here? House is clean. I did after that's why I got to bed late last night because I wanted to clean up my mess from the food and shooting the rosary video last night. God, like I said, they'll last. I mean, they're good enough to eat, but like, yeah. And the Twizzlers like, how can we make it enjoyable, but not too enjoyable? Enjoyable enough to like where if you have it already, you'll eat it. But maybe, I mean, well, actually that wouldn't work. They'd have to make it so that way it was like good enough for you to buy more product, I guess. But I wouldn't buy, last time I bought Twizzlers was long enough to forget that they weren't worth buying. So, I'm gonna make some chai. Sobriety notes. Let's see. I haven't been tempted to do drugs in the last few days. Since the last time I talked and I said I had that craving that night where I almost relapsed, which was only like, 2 to 3 days ago. I mean, not that long, but I haven't, but thanks be to God, I haven't had anything since then. So, but you never know when that stuff can come up. I mean, and that's kind of like being like that's kind of terrorizing a little bit. I know that if you're not a drug addict, you probably don't believe that or know it, or you think it's a choice or something like that, but it is literally like, the call of the wild. It comes out of nowhere, and sometimes if it's strong enough for you that you can't say no, there you are in the wild. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I have run out to buy drugs before, and all the while, like, I'm going there not wanting to go do it. I mean, there's a part of you that's making you go do it, this drive, but like, no thanks. So I'd rather be home here doing my prayers, doing my music, doing my cooking, doing my housekeeping. Those are the things I really love. And then that's not all. That's not going to just be my life. I also want to go do things like, I was telling Coulter when that whole situation was going on. I want to go urban exploring. I love water slide parks and I love amusement parks. And I love to go out bike riding, which I now have a bike. I can go do that. I love eating out in restaurants. I like going to museums. All kinds of different stuff. I mean, just a bunch of stuff that's not coming to mind right now. I mean, there's things that I want to do. And I'm telling you, when you're doing drugs, even with me, who I'm going to toot my own horn here a little bit, I think I'm pretty good at keeping it together on drugs. Like, better than anyone else I've seen. I'm going to just be honest with you. Better than anyone else I've seen. I've not seen anybody match my level of togetherness on dope in the scene that I was in. Okay? And even with that being the case, a lot of things still got sacrificed because you don't make time for anything else. You make time, like, you know what I mean? There's just, I made time, as much time as I could for music, but it still was a fraction, most of the time was spent going and trying to procure drugs, and then when I would have my drugs, then I would work on my music, because then that feeling of, you know what I mean, almost like when you're thirsty and you're so thirsty and you can't think about anything else till you get a drink, and then you get a drink and then you're like, oh, okay, now I feel better. Now I can do my work. That's how drugs are for me when I'm on them. For most addicts, honestly, they are. Now, I'm not saying that everyone does the same things when they're on high, but like for me, feeling high, being high meant I had a lot of energy, and I felt an exhilaration. I felt exhilarated. You know, I felt pumped to do work and stuff like that. You know, people that don't take drugs, they kind of have they think that drugs do different things to different people. Definitely, different drugs do different things. But methamphetamine for me was a stimulant in the most pure sense of the term. And that I love to, for example, like, I haven't done much music. Honestly, my creative drive has been a little bit dead, has been kind of dead. Musical creativity drive has been dead since I got sober. I know it'll come back. I know those things take time. They do. You know, most times when, you know, because what happens is with methamphetamine is your brain is pumped with, I think, serotonin and norepinephrine or something like that. And it boosts these, you know what I mean? And then what happens is when you get off it, if you've been on it for a long time, I've been doing dope since I was 21 years old and I'm 41. It's a long time. And when you get off it, of course, those levels are going to recede, like majorly, a little bit in some way. Now, I'm lucky. Some people have anhedonia for a very long time. And anhedonia, what that means is it's an inability to find joy in anything. I'm glad I don't have that, at least. Where I suffer the most right now in my sobriety is as a depletion of creativity in terms of music. I can't like sit and improvise like I used to on dope. Okay, and I'm glad that finally some people can see how I am, even like see how I am when I am intoxicated, because that Christmas Eve video again, and know that I'm not just like thinking I'm good. You know, all the music I've done, and when I do post it, you'll get to see all of the music I've composed has been when I've been high. All of it. Because that's when I get the best kind of ideas. Now, will I get those kind of ideas sober? I'm pretty sure I will. I just gotta wait. You gotta wait. Sometimes it can take a couple of years. If you've been doing dope a very long time, it can take a while. It's not just gonna come back in a minute. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay. I'm at the point where I'm like, you know, for a while, at one point that was kind of intolerable to me. When I was much younger, I was like, you know, I gotta have my stuff, and that's it. Now I'm like, I can wait. I can be patient because it's worth it. Because what you lose, like I said, I mean, the amount of time I spent on music versus the amount of time I spent procuring drugs when I was getting high, the amount of time on music was fractional. Even with me trying to spend more time with music, I could, because you can't help it. Because when the drug wears off, you know, you don't feel good, and you're compelled to go get more, and you are going to spend that time on that until you do it. You know, and it's not always. Oh God, it's a mess. I'm not even going to describe that right now, but I have to say, so honestly, right now, even if I'm going to be honest with you. Even if I never get, and I hate to say this because I love music is as much a part of me as my religion is, and I know that you would not know that right now because you're not seeing me do any music. You just see that I have a piano in my house and some sheet music that's, you know, just been sitting up there. Be patient, as I'm having to be patient. You're going to see as much like musical activity as you see religious activity at some point. I'm pretty sure. Because that's just me. It's been part of me ever since I've been a kid. So, I have played piano though. Typically, like it'll be for a few minutes at a time, just here and there. I sit down, I just do a couple things, and I get up. And I never really mention on Facebook because I don't know, I just don't. You know what I mean? It'd be like for 5-10 minutes or whatever. And the day I did get high, I came home and I played for a couple of hours, and that was nice because I don't get to do that. But I'm not going to get high so I can do that anymore. It's not worth it. I give up. You know what I mean? There's too many things. It takes away too much to give too little. It takes away too much to give too little. And I like my life now where it's headed. It's pretty awesome. So what I was going to say is, even if God forbid I never get that amount of creativity back, even if my brain is just, the levels drop to the point where I just don't have that creativity anymore to compose, so be it. I'll still take what I have right now over going back to what I had before. Because, yeah, I could do some composing and stuff like that, and that was great, but, like, it was, there's more to life than just that. You have to have, you know what I mean? To go back to that, I wouldn't even have you know what I mean? It wouldn't even have a place to compose anyway, except in a Starbucks, because I'd be homeless again or something like that. Well, I mean, maybe. I'm not trying to say that, having bouts of insobriety, okay, like using, is going to directly lead to me being homeless. But I'm saying going back to the situation I was in, it just does. It sucks a lot out of you. Even if you can maintain certain levels and things, you're always going to be better off without it. So anyway, I'm going to make some try. I think that's all I wanted to say. Again, it's a video where I'm like, I don't like this video. But, like, a lot of important stuff said there. And we're going to pray. So let's do that. We're going to pray a psalm. And then I'm going to make some chai and eat. I'm hungry. Psalm 71 is what I opened up to. We'll go to that. It's a prayer in old age. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. In you, O Lord, I take refuge. Let me never be put to shame. In your justice, rescue me, free me. Pay heed to me and save me. Be a rock where I can take refuge, a mighty stronghold to save me. For you are my rock, my stronghold. Free me from the hand of the wicked, from the grip of the unjust, of the oppressor. It is you, O Lord, who are my hope, my trust, O Lord, since my youth. On you I have leaned from my birth. From my mother's womb you have been my help. My hope has always been in you. My fate has filled many with awe, but you are my strong refuge. My lips are filled with your praise, with your glory all the day long. Do not reject me now that I am old. When my strength fails, do not forsake me. For my enemies are speaking about me. Those who watch me take counsel together. They say that God has forsaken me. They can seize me and no one will save me. O God, do not stay far off. My God, make haste to help me. Let them be put to shame and destroyed, all those who seek my life. Let them be covered with shame and confusion, all those who seek to harm me. But as for me, I will always hope and praise you more and more. My lips will tell of your justice, and day by day of your help, though I can never tell it all. Lord, I will declare your mighty deeds, proclaiming your justice, yours alone. O God, you have taught me from my youth, and I proclaim your wonder still. Now that I am old and gray-headed, do not forsake me, O God. Let me tell of your power to all ages. Praise your strength and justice to the skies. Tell of you who have worked such wonders. O God, who is like you? You have burdened me with bitter troubles, but you will give me back my life. You will raise me from the depths of the earth. You will exalt me and console me again. So I will give you thanks on the lyre for your faithful love, O my God. To you will I sing on the harp. To you, O Holy One of Israel. When I sing to you, my lips shall rejoice, and my soul which you have redeemed. And all the day long my tongue shall tell the tale of your justice. For they are put to shame and disgraced, all those who seek to harm me. Glory to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit, as it was in the beginning, is now, and will be forever. Amen. Sayings of the Desert Fathers. This is from John the Persian, page 107. A demoniac boy came one day to be healed, and some brothers from an Egyptian monastery arrived. As one old man was coming out to meet them, he saw a brother sinning with the boy, but he did not accuse him. He said, "If God, who has made them, sees them and does not burn them, who am I to blame them?" The next one after this. One of the fathers related of Abba John the Persian that his great charity had brought him to a profound innocence. He dwelt in Arabia of Egypt. One day he borrowed some money from a brother and bought some flax for his work. Then a brother came and asked him, "Abba, give me a little flax so I can make myself a cloak." He gave him some readily. Similarly, another brother came and asked him, "Give me a little flax so that I can make some cloth." So he gave him some too. Others came and asked him for things, and he simply gave them cheerfully. Later, the owner of the money came to reclaim it. The old man said to him, "I will go and get it for you." Because he could not return it to him, he went to Abba James, who was a deacon, to ask him to give him some money so that he could return it to the brother. On the way, he found a coin on the ground, but he did not touch it. He said a prayer and returned to his cell. But the brother came once more, pestering him about the money, and the old man said to him, "I am very worried about it." Once again he went, found the coin on the ground where it was lying, and once again he said a prayer and returned to his cell. But the brother came back to pester him as before. The old man said to him, "This time I will certainly bring it to you." Once again he got up and went to the place where the coin lay on the ground. He said a prayer and went to tell Abba James, "Abba, as I was coming here, I found this coin on the road. Please make it known in the neighborhood in case someone has lost it, and if its owner is found, give it to him." So the old man went and asked about it for 3 days, but no one who had lost a piece of money came. Then the old man said to Abba James, "Then if no one has lost it, give it to this brother, for I owe it him. As I was coming to ask you for alms in order to give him his due, I found it." The old man was astounded that, having a debt and finding that piece, he had not picked it up at once and given it to him. It was equally to his credit that when someone came to borrow something from Abba John, he did not give it to him himself, but said to the brother, "Go and help yourself to whatever you need." And when someone brought anything back to him, he would say, "Put it back where it belongs." If the borrower did not return the thing, he did not say anything to him. The third saying. It was said of Abba John the Persian that when some evildoers came to him, he took a basin and wanted to wash their feet. But they were filled with confusion and began to do penance. And the last one, 4. Someone said to Abba John the Persian, "We have borne great afflictions for the sake of the kingdom of heaven. Shall we inherit it?" The old man said, "As for me, I am confident I shall obtain the inheritance of Jerusalem on high, which is written in the heavens. Why should I not be confident? I have been hospitable like Abraham, meek like Moses, holy like Aaron, patient like Job, humble like David, a hermit like John, filled with compunction like Jeremiah, a master like Paul, full of faith like Peter, wise like Solomon. Like the thief, I trust that he who is of his natural goodness has given me all that, will also grant me the kingdom." Go about and have a great rest of your day. We will be doing prayer here pretty soon, morning prayer. I have to eat something because it's been a very long time since I've eaten. Thank you for joining me. God bless and Godspeed.